This week, the Big Match Revisited features the top two teams in the second tier in the autumn of 1979, as QPR, starring an 18-year-old Clive Allen, went to Luton Town. Plus, presenter Brian Moore brings us a bonus interview with comedian and football lover Eric Morecambe.
Welcome again to the Big Match, and our lineup today on the programme brings you two matches from the First Division, and our main match is from the Second Division. It's Luton Town against Queen's Park Rangers, which we'll support with an astonishing game between Southampton and Nottingham Forest, and then Everton against Middlesbro. Also today, the answer to our Match Day with England quiz. Maybe you'll be the lucky one, who knows, to go and meet Ron Greenwood's men. Well, that comes up a little later on, as does a conversation with this gentleman. Yes, Eric Morecambe, back watching Luton for the first time for a year, and we'll save that to the end of the programme. And also today, news of another £1 million transfer bid. But now we have real Luton action as they face Queen's Park Rangers at Kenilworth Road, with a crowd of over 19,000 there to see the battle between the two top teams in the Second Division. Luton, of course, in first place, and Rangers second. Luton's biggest crowd of the season, and little wonder when you recognise the importance of the game, and indeed perfect conditions overhead for the crowd, although a bit soft underfoot indeed today for the players. It's a match that brings together two prolific scorers from the Second Division, David Moss of Luton, who's got 12 to his name, 6 of them incidentally coming from the penalty spot, while Queen's Park Rangers look to 18-year-old Clive Allen. With the help of 3 penalties, Clive's tally now stands at 13. The Luton team's unchanged, something that manager David Pleat's been able to announce most of this season. And the two big buyers from the summer are Mike Saxby, £200,000 from Mansfield in the defence, and Tony Grealish, £150,000 from Orient in midfield. And incidentally, defender Mal Donaghy is in the Northern Ireland squad, and Paul Price gets his first chance in the Welsh squad. Queen's Park Rangers, well, manager Tommy Docherty kept it to himself until 2 o'clock, and then no surprises in their team. If there had been suggestions earlier of a shake-up after that League Cup defeat at Wolves, it just didn't happen. And with Stan Bowles and Tony Curry in the side, well, it shouldn't lack for invention and skill to go with the teamwork that has taken QPR back towards the top. The referee today is Brian Martin of Keyworth in Nottinghamshire. And in the crowd today, the England manager, Ron Greenwood. And so it's Luton Town who get us away in that all-white strip with the one orange stripe down it. Attacking the goal to our left. Queen's Park Rangers today in a strip of all red, a change strip for them. Luton, in fact, not been beaten here at Kenilworth Road this season. In fact, they've lost only twice all season, the away games at Bristol Rovers and at Cardiff. And a throw to Rangers. Don Shanks, who used to be a Luton player. Goddard shoved in the back unceremoniously there by Mike Saxby, a free kick. Hazel playing it in there towards Bowles. Wicks to Gillard. Just in there towards Allen, but it'll be Price's header away. Ricky Hill turning it down here for Kirk Stevens. And Wicks again getting a valuable header, but Grealish picking up the loose one. Here's Bob Hatton. Steen outside him. Brian Steen with a chance to cross in. See that it is going to be a bit difficult underfoot. Stevens now with a long cross, and the header from Hatton in fact hit Hazel when it was bound towards the Woods, and that QPR goal. So it'll be Dave Moss with the corner for Luton. Price is making a run, Saxby's right in there. It's Saxby with a lot of space for that header, and Woods had a go and missed it, and Steen very nearly turned it in. A bad goalkeeping mistake there by young Chris Woods as Moss hit that corner in. Saxby with a lot of space with that header, and Woods missing his punch. Steen couldn't quite turn it in. Nice play by Grealish. Steen. Well, a bit of support up now, Luton. 2, 4, 6 men are up.
Kirk Stevens now. Played in once more to Bob Hatton. Crossed in. I thought Moss might have had a chance of a shot there. West might have a chance of a shot. Moss tried for all he was worth to curl that past the number 4, McCreary. Claiming it was a handball at the same time, but nothing given. Curry. Goddard. Bowles. Yes, the footer roller was far too high. That was a dangerous piece of play by him and fully warranting a free kick. Grealish. Steen. Good turn there on Gillard. Now Hatton there. Moss coming in fast to the far post. Moss coming in there. Grealish. West. There's Hatton, shadowed by Hazel. Moss. West again. Stevens wanting it on the far side. West curving that nicely into his path. Grealish. West. Good play here by Luton. Moss with a shot just over. A best move of the game by far. Let's look at the Luton passing. Some really fine studied approach play. And the ball in the end coming to Dave Moss for the first time over. Shanks with a throw. Bowles. Price. And finally Donaghy getting it away. Steen controlling it well. Now Moss on his way. Played inside for Hatton. Played on for Ricky Hill. Luton with a lot of men up. And Stevens coming in. Up to hit the post. What a beautiful move again, really breaking out of defence with so much venom and pace. And then when that ball finally came through to Kirk Stevens, goodness knows how much ground he'd made up, thundered the shot past Chris Woods, but against the foot of the post. And there's the unlucky man, Kirk Stevens. Hasn't scored this season either. Really was some move. Ball's over the back of the stand. It's 2 really good breaks then by Luton in the last 5 minutes of this first half. Kirk Stevens, who came here from Nuneaton, and in fact was the player of the year last year at Luton. McCreary. Corner for Queen's Park Rangers. Tony Curry with it. He's taking it quickly as Wicks makes his run in there, but Fendley was alive to it. Another chance of a long kick and a 1-against-1. Moss versus Shanks. And hitting it straight at Woods, but the value of quick thinking by the goalkeeper at the other end, by Jake Fendley. Really releasing that ball quickly, a 1-against-1, which will always give a player of Moss's skill something to go for. The shot this time was straight at Chris Woods. The game's really woken up in the last few minutes. Hazel playing it forward. Stevens. So unlucky not to have put Luton ahead. Nice pass this time for Steen. Ricky Hill's gone outside, played in there this time. Knocked away for the corner by Steve Wicks. Good spell this by Luton. And a good, dangerous spell before Rangers settled down in defence in the opening 5 minutes of the game. And now in the last 5 minutes of the first half, they've really pushed Rangers hard. Moss again with the corner. And Steen's header saved that time by Woods. Another free kick for Luton. Well into injury time at the end of the first half. Paul Price with the free kick for Luton. Saxby's in there, and Saxby has scored! Right on the stroke of half-time, a breakthrough that Luton had threatened to make in the last 5 minutes with some really good, strong attacks, and yet this one came from a dead ball. A free kick floated in there, Saxby at the far post. Chris Woods didn't really get a fist to it at all, didn't make the strong enough challenge, and Saxby's header floats into the net. Luton 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Mike Saxby the scorer, and only the second time he scored for his new club. And here's Steen. Hatton going on his way again. Well, Hatton might get this across. Grealish has missed a chance, but the whistle had gone. Suddenly it looked as though Luton were going to score twice in time added on for injuries at the end of the first half. As Hatton took that ball down the line, crossed it in, and Grealish was well wide with it, but the whistle had gone. But here's McCreary and Goddard. And Shanks was coming in there. They claim handball. The referee didn't want to know. And West. Really 5 minutes of injury time now. Stoppages. It's certainly a very generous allowance that the referee has allowed. Curry trying to get a shot in, but didn't begin to catch it properly. And there at last goes the half-time whistle with 6.5 minutes of injury time played. And in that time, Mike Saxby stole up and scored the only goal of the game so far from that free kick. Just a few moments after Kirk Stevens, the number 2, had rattled the ball against the Queen's Park Rangers post. So Luton going in, shading it, particularly with their performance over the last 10 minutes of the first half. But you fancy that there's still a lot of football left in this game here at Kenilworth Road. A half-time score then. Here is Luton Town 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0, and we'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to Kenilworth Road. Let's hope that the game can pick up where it left off just before half-time in that riveting 6.5 minutes or so of injury time, when Luton in fact hit a post and scored the only goal of the game so far through Mike Saxby. QPR in the all-red strip. Curry. Saxby holding off Clive Allen, but Allen in fact got the better of him. Saxby again. Getting that one away well. A good piece of play by him for Hatton. Played on once more for Moss, but Wicks will get there first, or will he? This might be the number 2, and Wicks just clearing off the line, saving himself and his team after his mistake, because that pass was never going to reach Chris Woods. Moss pounced on it, but the angle wasn't right, and Wicks just got back in time to clear it away. Shanks again. Goddard. It's a sensible ball played for Roeder if he can cross it in, which he can. And McCreary's in there. That very nearly went Rangers' way. inquest in that Luton Town defence. A few voices being raised. As Rhoda was able to cross that ball in, and Cleary was so close to getting the equaliser. And here comes Kirk Stevens again. Stevens wanting it back again. A good pass there from Steen, and Stevens foiled at the very last by Hazel. But some of their breaks out of defence have really been impressive of Luton's. And I must say Stevens, who was well to the fore when his shot hit the post in the first half, was really the architect of that one as well. So Luton's corner. Played in for Hill. And across there, Hatton. Oh! Did it cross the line? Well, Bob Hatton is running across to the linesman, claiming that ball had crossed the line, but the game is in progress again. And a free kick to Luton. Let's just go back a minute or so then and have a look at that long corner hit by Stevens. And Hatton at the far side, heading it down and well and very accurately from that angle, claiming that the ball had crossed the line before Chris Woods really gathered it up. Saxby, Price, Stevens. Say, a lad who's come up from Nuneaton, player of the year last year, and really looks a player. Ricky Hill with that one. Oh, and Hatton, so close. A lovely break again by Luton. They've really come into their own in the last 5 or 10 minutes of the first half and in the opening 10 minutes of the second half. Bowles played for Curry. Good play by Curry and a chance. My word, I thought it was going to be for Allen, but in the end it was Kirk Stevens at number 2 again, who just got up there because Allen was unmarked at the far post and Curry's chip was tailor-made for him if it had just cleared the fullback's head. So Goddard with the corner again, floated right in there and over the line, and the goal is not given. Bowles, in fact, it was who finally turned it over, and it probably was a foul on keeper Jake Finlay as Goddard's corner came in, even though Stan Bowles eventually put it over the line. Greedish helping it on for West. Played on again for Moss. And a good challenge by Shanks, at least, to hold Luton up for a moment. Hill playing it again through for Moss. In it goes, Steen! It looked as though he had to. Moss again, and this time Hill over the top. Oh, 2 excellent pieces of play by Dave Moss there. The first cross that came in, it looked surely that Steen would score, but Rangers got it away. And when he pulled it in again, Ricky Hill put it over the top. Bowles played in towards Curry. Comes to him too. Bowles again. Allen doing well to chest that down. Rhoda really cracking one in there. Allen again. And a beautiful goal by Clive Allen. 1-1. Well, the youngster has been overshadowed by Saxby the whole afternoon. But my word, when that chance came, he showed an icy coolness that was almost frightening. The ball, in fact, falling nicely for him in the box there, going round his man. And that wasn't an easy angle. But the power gave Finlay no chance. Luton 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Clive Allen, that's goal 14 of the season for him. But a really exciting game now after the dullness of the first half hour or so. And Curry, I think, injured there as he went in on that challenge. Here's Rhoda. Suddenly the way's opened up for him with a little cross coming in. Behind it goes, and Curry, I think, is in big trouble. And the linesman is telling Tommy Docherty to go to the bench. first touch, but he was beaten in the air by Hill there. Gillard turning it back to Chris Woods. Rhoda. Bowles. Rhoda again. Bowles. Nicked in nicely there by Rhoda for Goddard. Still, they want to try and get the ball over. Oh, Shanks is available. And there is the cross coming in. Burke playing it down for McCreary, who had to hit it quickly. If anything, Luton have had the initiative taken away from them for a little while since Queen's Park Rangers equalised. But here's Hill now for Luton Town in the white strip. West to Hill. But there's McCreary getting it away, but hitting it straight at West. It falls for Bowles. And Almos. Neatly going around McCreary. With Hatton outside him. With Steen on this side. Still Moss in the middle. If Hatton can get it across. Oh! Goodness! That surely would have been an own goal. It seemed to me that there was a Rangers defender somewhere on the edge of that 6-yard area when Hatton whacked that one in there, right across the face of the goal. Rangers looking for one last break. They won't find it that way. It's another throw. And it looks as though it might be a point save for them at any rate. Away from home against the top team, that would be fairly satisfying. And really, I think on the second half performance, they've just about deserved it. Although there's no doubt throughout the game that Luton have made the better chances. Shanks crossing that one in there. Saxby missing a chance. Allen with the shot, and he's hit it over. Well, we could have had a really dramatic finish there. Mike Saxby, the hero for Luton Town in the first half. And it was his mistake. And Allen put it over the top. Final whistle. Might have been a win for Rangers if that last chance could have been taken, but the better chances throughout, no doubt, fell to Luton. Clive Allen, though, scored superbly for Rangers in the second half to equalise a goal by Mike Saxby in the first half for Luton. Still think the best player on the field on the day was the Luton number 2, Kirk Stevens. Had a really fine game, both in defence and indeed in coming forward as well. I think in the end we just about got the right result, though, and the final score then, as both teams now come off the field, is Luton 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
And a real cup-tie atmosphere about that one. And I think in the end, just about the right result as well. And that 1-1 draw means that Luton keep their place at the top of the table, with Rangers now dropping to 4th, Newcastle and Birmingham both having won yesterday. But there's no doubt about it that manager David Pleat has done a remarkable job at Luton. He's not one of the best-known names or faces in the business, but his results certainly speak for themselves. But what does he have to say yesterday about his philosophy that has taken Luton to the top?
We've got a good type of lads here, and I think they've come from backgrounds, lower league players. We only have one player who came from a higher league, and that was Finlay, the goalkeeper, who came in effect from Aston Villa reserves. Everyone's come from lower leagues, so therefore they've probably grasped their chance better and appreciated the opportunity that's been given them. And now I'm hoping that they're going to go all the way through with us and repay the opportunity that we've provided.
People have said that you play to your absolute limit now. Do you think that's so, or do you think there's a lot more in store?
I was very surprised. When you say people, I think there was one journalist, and I'm not quite sure now if he's a good judge. It was a quick look. He thought we were more muscular than skillful. Now, how he can say that about our side baffles me. We can play, we can knock the ball about. That's our strength.
David Pleat, amongst other things, he tells me he was impressed by the finishing of Queen's Park Rangers' young striker Clive Allen, and I'm not surprised. Clive, you probably know, is the son of the former Spurs and Queen's Park Rangers player Les Allen, who was also manager of Rangers as well. And Clive seems to have climbed very comfortably into his father's footsteps, and I spoke to him after the game.
Clive, your first time on television, I think, but I think the way you're playing, it's not going to be the last by long means. Did you enjoy the game today?
Yes, I did. We was very pleased with the point, and we worked hard for it. We had to battle away, but it came very good at the end, and we could have won the game last minute, but...
Tell me about that.
Well, really, the ball came across very fast, and it was a bit wet towards the end, and it skidded through to me. Controlled it, and just got it under my foot a little bit. I managed to get the shot in, but it was over the top, which was a bit disappointing. But I think it was a fair result.
I think it probably was.
Yes,
but having said that, I mean, the goal that you scored must have given you a lot of pleasure, because I think everybody was so impressed with the way you took that chance in the box.
Yes, it fell for me quite well. The ball was played up, and I think I knocked it down to Glenn. He had a shot, and a rebound off the defender came straight to me. I think it was a little bit off balance, and I managed to go by him. And luckily enough, it hit the back of the net, which was most pleasing.
Yes, of course. You come from a good football background, as everybody knows. Tell us about your dad's part in what you've achieved so far.
He's really like having my own personal manager, father being a professional as he was. Gives me good advice. Seems as if he's critical at times, but it's worked out well, and most pleasing now.
How often does he come to watch you play?
Whenever he can, he's at the games.
Was he here today?
I'm not sure, actually. He was a bit undecided whether he was coming or not, but
Yes.
hopefully he was. If not, he'll be watching on the television, I'm sure.
And he's been guiding you from what sort of age now?
Well, since I was born, I've been kicking the ball about, and having a father, I suppose he likes his son to play, and he's advised me all the way.
Yeah. It must be great for him to have somebody...
Yeah, I think he enjoys it because he's involved and he's watching games, and it must be nice to sort of have someone playing still.
Well, if you're wondering what Clive's dad, Les Allen, is doing in football these days, I can tell you he's now working as a scout in the London area for Bristol City. Well, it was an exciting afternoon at Luton, and I must say also that Rangers look as though they mean business this season. Quite a good game, that. A short break now, and then Southampton against Nottingham Forest, and that's a marvellous game. Everton against Middlesbro. We'll be back. Welcome back. Now for the first of our First Division games. Southampton against Nottingham Forest. Southampton beaten in their previous 5 games. Forest just home from a victory in Romania that puts them into the last 8 of the European Cup. The pictures are from Southern Television. The commentators David Bobin and Southampton here are in the stripes.
Baker and Francis together. It runs for Nick Holmes. Phil Boyer. Referee allowing play to continue, and it's Boyer again. Holmes with that left foot again, but this time Francis in to challenge down that cross. It's Lloyd bundling over Shannon, and it runs for a corner to Southampton. Their 4th corner of the match. Can they make anything of this? Ball finding Nick Holmes. Holmes and Watson. Oh, yes! What a lovely goal! What a super move! Well, there's no doubt that Southampton are delighted with that goal, and why shouldn't they be when it was knocked back from the corner? The cross was floated over, and a beautiful firm header from Dave Watson puts the European champions behind. Southampton lead 1-0. Anderson and Boyer chasing together under that, but the flag is already up. Against Phil Boyer, so it's going to be a free kick to Forest. But certainly at the moment, Southampton looking good value for this lead, and let's not forget that they've only had 1 win in the league in their last 6 matches. And that win was back at the beginning of October against Crystal Palace by 4-1. Since then, they've had some bad luck, and at times they haven't played well. But what a time to come back to form. Williams making a lot of space there to gather that ball, and it's still Stevie Williams. Oh my goodness! Larry Lloyd was so near to scoring number 2. Steve Williams it was who caused all the problems, and when the cross came over, Larry Lloyd nearly put it past his own goalkeeper. Baker, oh my goodness, that came off Burns. And Forest are just in tatters. Yes, and Shannon's made it. Mickey Shannon delighted with his goal. And Forest have just gone to pieces in the space of a couple of minutes. They nearly conceded an own goal. And then finally, when that ball ran free on the left, Mick Shannon found himself with acres of room almost and picked his spot to hook it past Shilton. And suddenly, Southampton are 2 up. Robertson, but that's not a good one. Yet another bad ball from him, and it's Graham Baker. And is the flag up? It is. So again, another chance goes begging, and it's Forest with the free kick. Timing his leap well to get that past Dave Watson. And Birtle's doing equally well to get that header across to Woodcock. Well, Peter Wells made a brave effort to stop it. Gary Birtle's the scorer. That was a good example of how Forest can break so dangerously. And Peter Wells, despite his very valiant effort at spreading at the feet of Birtles, was unable to keep it out. And Forest are now back in the game, trailing by 2 goals to 1. Kenny Burns slipping at the totally the wrong moment. And Alan Ball has only got Larry Lloyd, and this is Boyer. And what a lovely way to reply. Look, Kenny Burns will live to regret that moment when he lost his footing. Because it was the slip by Kenny Burns which opened up the Forest defence, and away went Alan Ball, galloping like the wind. And when he laid it across, Phil Boyer did the rest, and Southampton lead by 3 goals to 1. Francis. Well, there's little doubt of the quality of this match. We're seeing some great football, there's no doubt about that, and most of it is coming from Southampton. Frankie Gray switching the point of attack, Anderson. Robertson with the shot. Robertson biting the dust, and the shot was not a good one anyway. Baker sliding through that tackle well with Robertson. And finally it's put through, and this is Shannon with Boyer in the middle. Boyer can make it. Oh my goodness, that was so nearly number 4. Well, how often have we seen that this season? The combination of the cross and Phil Boyer in just the right position, and it happened that time, but in the end Forest were lucky to get it away with the header off the line. Robertson, Birtles. This really is some game we're seeing this afternoon. A packed crowd here at the Dell, capacity crowd, seeing a really great game. The shot from Bowyer, well wide. Ian Bowyer, of course, he scored in midweek in Romania. Not on the goal sheet this afternoon, but he wasn't that far away this time. Stevie Williams showing tenacity and skill in a situation like that. Williams again. Oh, Boyer showing a nice touch. What a lovely trap and turn that was to Graham Baker. This is a great bit of play from Southampton. That Shannon, oh! Well, Southampton are really going to town this afternoon. And Mick Shannon
wonder, Southampton. What an amazing result that was. And incidentally, that was Nottingham Forest's worst defeat since 1975. But now it's time to have a look at the things that you've been writing to me about. And first, we've got a whole batch of letters suggesting that Sunderland's winning goal against Chelsea last week was offside. Billy Guest of 34 Colleton Road, East Dulwich, London SE 22. Mrs. M. Morrish of 47 The Bourne, Southgate, London N14. David Ramsey of 111A, Reeds Lane, Morton Wirral on Merseyside were three of very many who wrote about it. Well, was it offside? As Gary Rowell takes this ball down, look at Gilbert making a run towards the left on the edge of the box there, and as we freeze it, you can see he certainly appears from that angle to be in line with the last Chelsea defender. And of course, if you're in line, you're offside, and it would seem that our viewers in that case had a very strong case indeed. Mr. R. Chester of 81 Cotton Brow in Bristol tells me he's a Barnsley supporter, exiled in the West Country, he says, but he also noticed that his club's game at Sheffield Wednesday last week was covered by Yorkshire Television. Any chance of seeing the goals, he asks. Well, yes, with Barnsley here, the All Dark Strip.
Mark's flick. Then off Smith. Here's Riley, and it ran kindly for him, and he makes it! Leicester. He certainly added skill and flair to Barnsley in midfield, and perhaps a finishing touch too. Certainly not offside. Glavin waiting for the pullback, and he doesn't need it. It's gone in off Grant.
2-0 to Barnsley, and more letters next week, because now we must move on to the answer to our Match Day with England competition, where the prize is a day with the England players later this month. The questions, you remember, were in 3 parts. This was the first one. I wanted to know the significance of this game, and the answer is that it was Wolves against Chelsea when a draw was enough to bring promotion to the First Division for both clubs. I also asked you whose voice this is.
It's obviously going to be a very physical game, so we've got to be a bit physical as well, and that's the way it turned out.
And the answer is Liam Brady of Arsenal. And thirdly, we showed a ball being laid down there for a free kick. What happened after this, I asked. And in fact, it was the day that Kevin Beattie of Ipswich hammered that free kick into the Leeds United net. And the first winner out of the bag was Tony Locke of 61 Old Woolwich Road, Greenwich in London. And he, with a friend, will go along to the England Hotel on the day of the European Championship match against Bulgaria, that's November 21, meet the players and then go on to the match at Wembley. And I'm quite sure Tony's going to get a wonderful day. The 6 runners-up, incidentally, will be getting a consolation prize, that magnificent encyclopedia of football that we showed you on the programme last week. And before we go on, news of a couple of testimonial games coming up this week. Tomorrow, Ellis Stoddart, one of the best-known football names in the West Country and now Chief Scout at Plymouth Argyle, has got a match against Nottingham Forest, with Brian Clough taking his men to Plymouth only 48 hours before a League Cup replay against Bristol City. Tomorrow night, Plymouth, kick-off 7 o'clock. Then on Wednesday, the Reading goalkeeper Steve Death, over 450 appearances for his club, and he's got his match, Reading against a young England 11, Wednesday, Elm Park, Reading. I hope they both have bumper nights. And now that transfer story of the weekend. If Millwall fans need any evidence that their club means business, it comes with the news today that Millwall are poised to turn down a £1 million bid for 3 of their young players. The American club Tampa Bay Rowdies have offered that money for Kevin O'Callaghan, a brilliant young winger, Tony Kinsella, and David Mehmet, who's already attracted the attention of quite a number of clubs, all of them teenagers, of course, with only a handful of league games between them. The Millwall board meet on Tuesday to consider that offer. Our last game is Everton against Middlesbrough at Goodison Park. Not really very happy times for Everton are these. And Middlesbrough apparently showing more enterprise than for quite a long time with some good football. The pictures are from Granada Television. The commentator's Gerald Sinstadt. Everton are in the white shorts.
Hartford and King. Kidd. Kidd still trying to worm a way through there. He set Bailey free. And Bailey's cross looks good, but Ashcroft met it well. Burns. Burns with Johnston on his left, but he delayed releasing the pass, but Johnston has steamed in and won it. Wood has come out and he's beaten, and it's a goal. Well taken by Johnston. Everton made their own problems there. But credit to Johnston, who nipped in and won it well,
and tucked it under Wood as he came out. Latchford sneaked it in front of McAndrew. King turning it to Ross. And Ross to the far post where Kidd is again. Off the post, King again. Keeper saved the second one, and Armstrong has got it away to Bell, but there were a couple of let-offs there for Middlesbrough. Ball played across well there by Ross, and Kidd goes up with Ashcroft at the far post, knocks it down. King a touch back off the post. He has another go here, which I think the keeper saves on the ground, and eventually they work it clear. It was a bad ball. And Wood may turn it to advantage as Kidd gets round McAndrew. Can he shoot? Latchford almost made it. But credit to George Wood, who started that from a bad ball which he caught on the edge of his 6-yard area, knocked a long one. Kidd got round McAndrew, screwed the shot, and Latchford couldn't quite make it, sliding in by the far post. Johnston. Hodgson, and he's gone for the return. Wright matched him. Bell takes the corner. Header across by Hodgson, and Johnston's got another one. Simple move, well worked. Corner played to the near post, the back header, and up goes Johnston, unmarked. Higgins coming in too late behind him, and it is 2-0. King. Good looking cross, and Lyons' first touch very nearly brings him a goal. Something to prove, Mike Lyons, and he came close to doing it then. Andy King given room on the right, on the left, plays in the cross, and the header was a good one, well saved. Gidman. Gidman turning it across. Johnston does the right thing and hooks it well away. Forward they come again, and Wright tries one. There was a deflection. I think that was off the post rather than the keeper's fingers, and Billy Wright was unlucky. As Billy Wright lets fly, and I don't think the goalkeeper touched that.
Plenty of near misses, but a 2-0 defeat for Everton, and that's really not good news for them on a day when Liverpool won again and went into second place in the table. Finally, it was a pleasure yesterday to see Eric Morecambe looking so well at the Luton QPR game after his recent heart operation. The first time, in fact, he's been to a game for a year. Behind the manager's desk.
Are we on now? Yes, and why not? Get me the Cosmos in New York. Immediately. Cosmos, I'll be in tomorrow. That's how confident I am. And I'll tell you something else as well.
Did you?
What?
Yes. Did you enjoy the game?
Very much indeed. And
It's the first time you've been here for quite a while, Eric, isn't it?
is it? Oh yes, yes it is, yes. It's nearly 12 months, as a matter of fact. Almost a year. 52 weeks. 365 days. And apart from being here last week. And no, it's been a long time, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's done me the world of good. I daren't leave this room. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a marvellous time, and I'm looking forward to our next home game.
The side's changed a fair bit, I suppose, since you were
I
last
didn't
here.
know one of the players. Hardly. I think I knew 3 players in there when I went in. And I had my quarter of laughs and came out.
What did you say to them in there?
Not a lot, because they don't know me very well. Who are you, they said. Get out, we're stripped. So I had to strip with them. And at the moment, I look like about 4 miles of bad road when I'm stripped.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yes.
You, in fact, missed a few chances, Luton, today.
Yes, I did. But we played very well, I thought, in the first half, because we had to defrost our goalkeeper at half-time. And I thought it was a good game, and I think a fair result.
A bit like a cup tie, really.
Why not? I shouldn't have done that. Yes, yes, it was. Very much like a cup tie. How's Elton gone on?
I think they got beaten today, which is,
Oh, dear.
which is not a new experience.
Oh, really? Oh, no, I am sorry. I'm sorry. Really, I'm sorry. They got beaten. Watford. Oh, dear. Oh, I am sad.
Eric Morecambe in very good form there and preparing a Christmas show for ITV. Well, that's it. Thanks again for watching us today. And we leave you with the young man from that footballing family who looks to have quite a future in the game. I remember the big match featuring Les Allen, his dad, as a player at the start of this decade. And now here we are at the end of the decade, it's his son. How time flies and how young Clive of Queen's Park Rangers can strike, as he did against Luton yesterday, with the sort of goal that would make any dad proud.
Bowles played in towards Curry. Comes to him too. Bowles again. Allen doing well to chest that down. Rhoda really cracking one in there. Allen again. And a beautiful goal by Clive Allen. 1-1.